Hey guys, Neely here. I was just sitting here in the Classic Metal Show studio checking out the website of our latest sponsor, Rock Gear. That's right, if you're a rock fan and you like to wear rock and roll memorabilia, Rock Gear is the place to go. They have a whole line of great merchandise over there that I think that anyone who is a fan of rock would appreciate. They have t-shirts of all your favorite bands, and every product in the store is officially licensed, so while you're shopping for your favorite band t-shirts online, you're supporting the bands. How great is that? And Rock Gear is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you're unhappy with any order, for any reason, you just got to contact them. They'll send you a replacement or refund your order. All you have to do is send an email to support@rockgear.store. And not only that, they offer free shipping on all orders in the U.S. over $35. Now, there's a value in itself. And speaking of value, Rock Gear is offering Classic Metal Show fans a 10% discount on your order if you use promo code ClassicMetal. Now, that's badass. So go over there to rockgear.store and make your order today.
It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That is a brand new tune. The name of that tune is Ravna. The name of the album is Manor of the Seven Gables. And the name of the band is, it might not be one that you guys know, but it's one you guys need to know. The name of the band is simply Them. And on the line right now, we have the lead singer of the band Them. We have KK Fossor. KK, how are you, man?
I'm doing very well.
So man, dude, great record, man. I'll start right there, man. It's just such a refreshing piece of metal in a time when everything is so cut into subgenres and subgenres, man. Just very cool listening.
Well, thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. Very kind words.
Excellent, man. Well, dude, for people that don't know of the band Them, maybe let's start with like a brief history of the band. You know, talk about how you guys got together and the concept behind the band.
Sure. Well, back in 2008. Okay. It originally started as a King Diamond tribute band, and originally playing one show. Back then, the band decided to continue to play for about 3.5 years. In the middle of that time period, about halfway through, I realized really wanted to do an original, maybe heavier offshoot of something similar, in a similar vein, but not exactly, replicating, because there is only one king, of course.
Sure.
Over the course of time, the members that were with me, great musicians, great songwriters, they really couldn't devote the time on the same path as I wanted to be on. So I wound up meeting Marcus Ulrich from the band Landfear at a dinner on Long Island New York, and we decided to write a record and form a band around it. And there you go. Now we're on the second record, and we're having a great time doing it.
No doubt, man. Well, dude, anybody that listens to this record will certainly, you understand that the King Diamond references there, or the influence rather, but it takes its own musical journey. I mean, you don't listen to it and go, all right, that's just a Merciful Fate ripoff. It really goes in its own direction, and it has some twists and turns that are very cool, man. A lot of different metal sounds, a lot of different styles in it. When you guys are putting together a record, do you put that in perspective? Do you try to not write to sound like King Diamond, or write to have the influence, or do you just sort of write and because of who you guys are, that's what it turns into?
I think it has a lot to do with who we are and where we've come from. I mean, if you really break down our backgrounds, you have some of the musicians stem from a progressive metal subgenre of metal, and then you have death metal, and you have thrash metal, and then you mix that all together. You have my vocal influences range anything from Billy Joel, Kiss, Iron Maiden, to even King. So there was never the intention of just me singing in a falsetto the whole entire time.
Right.
Try to use that as a flavoring. It's because it's just one of the many voices I have. Yes, there are some voices that are very similar to the great King, but I also have voices that I use that he doesn't use. And I'm sure it's vice versa. You know, when I sing, I don't try to sing just, oh, I'm going to be like King Diamond. It's what comes to my mind and what I feel. And the same thing with the music. The music is written. In fact, maybe there's one other member in the band, two other members that really enjoy King's music, but the main songwriters are not really a true, like a real King Diamond fan. They appreciate his music, but that's not where their influences lie. So
Sure.
Things that unfolded the way they unfolded, it was because of, who we are, where we've come from. There are little tips of the hat, little nods along the way, but we're not really on that path anymore.
Sure.
There are some similarities, and no matter what, I mean, people have even said that we sound like Ghost, and them does not sound like Ghost at all.
Right.
But people make associations, and it's hard to break those associations.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it is.
Sure. Is it one of those? Let me put it this way: does it drive you crazy that people do make associations instead of just judging it on its own merits?
Well, if I say yes, then maybe people do more. No, really. Sometimes it has. I would say, what? Like, what are you talking about? Sometimes, yes, I will agree.
Mm.
I'm very objective. So, if you said you listen to one song and nothing else, that sounds like King Diamond, or that sounds like what King Diamond would do now, or if he had a music that was heavier, that's what he would sound like now. I would agree with you. But if you listen to a whole work of art consisting of 12 tracks, I wouldn't agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are definitely distinctive differences between the bands. And, but people aren't like that. People, we're like a fast food nation, where we just listen to a few seconds and we make a determination.
Right.
And that a lot of that has to do with social media and how people are just, quickly skimming through music and videos, and that's one of the reasons why lyric videos are very popular now with labels, because people don't watch full videos. Not all the time. It's just, we skim through things. I noticed that with my children. They listen to music. They listen to maybe 30 seconds of a song and they switch it to another song. What are you doing?
Yeah, right.
That's the point is you need to listen to works of art as a whole to really make an intelligent decision as far as, what does this group sound like? And there are some critics that actually haven't done that, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But then each person has different set of ears and different opinions. But it did bother me initially, but sometimes I laugh. Sometimes I might say, what's that person talking about? We don't sound anything like Ghost.
Right, sure. and
they're a good band, but
sure.
I mean, realistically, we don't sound like Ghost. I don't know how, but then again, like I said, people, they make their own opinions.
Sure,
have their own opinions.
I have to think that, especially for a record like Manor of the Seven Gables, you just straight up can't appreciate it at all unless you listen to. I don't want to say the whole thing because that's not fair either. But I think you have to listen to 4, 5, 6 songs in the order that they were put, that they were sequenced, in order to kind of gain the flavor and gain the journey that you're trying to take somebody on. Seeing one video, and it's almost unfair to your publicist, if nothing else, because you have to promote a record as well, and they give you one video, and then everybody's making a determination on if they're going to review it or not based on one video, one song that they've heard. It really is such a catch-22.
I agree. That's so accurate. I mean, it's just so funny because the label just released the second video, and I'll give you an example. Some comments are made saying, oh wow, Abigail. Well, they have digital art that is associated with the actual single,
right?
And it's different than that of the album. Okay, and each picture associated to each digital single tells that tries to, sum up what's happening in that part of the story.
Right.
Now, when you look at the picture and you look at Circuitous, that's the second single.
Okay.
You look at that digital single cover art, and you look at Abigail. Wow, they're two horse-drawn carriages. The time periods are both in the 1800s. One has two drivers. One has one driver. One is a hearse. One is a regular carriage. What is the mode of transportation during the 1800s?
Yeah.
Horse-drawn carriage.
Right.
So, never in my wildest dreams would I think that people are going to say it's Abigail. Right. You listen to the song, I would say to myself, wow, they're saying it looks like it's Abigail. Listen to the song. It sounds nothing like King Diamond.
Right.
In my opinion.
No,
But, you have to chuckle. You have to chuckle when you see stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, one thing that stood out to me, KK, listening to the record is for such a powerful record, and I mean, almost basically all the songs are really kind of in your face punches, although some of them are fast, some of them slow, but it definitely is all really powerful. The one thing that really stood out to me is how musically tight you guys are. Listening to a song like, I don't know, like As the Sage Burns as an example, there's just this precision in the music that you don't really find that often in this kind of metal. A lot of times it's a little more dirty, and you guys really have that tight, powerful sound. Is that part of the vision that you guys work for, or is it just that you're just performing with some incredibly good players?
I don't think we intentionally tried to do that. It's just the players, that's how they are.
Okay.
Originally, when this was just a recording, the original aspect of this was just a recording project. And so at the time, I wanted to have key players be part of this that would make it, I envisioned it being tight. Tight and driving and just thunderous sounding and big production. That's what I envisioned. I know a lot of people that listen to, that may enjoy our group. They say, oh, your production is too polished or too, it's too modern. Well, that's what I wanted. I mean, a lot of classic metal bands, they want to sound like they're from the 80s.
Right.
I wanted us to have the music, the driving music of the 80s in a modern format. Sure. And that's really what I envisioned. And working with flatlineaudio.com, Dave Otero, that was the key to making that happen. But the musicians themselves, they're all big boys here. They prepare, they practice, they write their own parts. And when it all comes together, that's what you hear.
Sure. And you definitely,
very little tweaking.
You definitely do hear it is, tight as a gnat's ass, as they might say. I mean, it's really, really tight.
Wow, great.
How difficult is it for you guys to write and record, grander music like this, being that I'm assuming the process takes place over 2 continents?
You assume correct. We all use different programs. You have some the Germans use Cubase. We use Pro Tools. In the end, Cubase is used to mix and master. But it does happen across the continents through the internet. Facebook Messenger we use for communications. Sometimes we might use Skype if we need to converse visually. But most of the time, entire songs are written and sent over. Yes, there might be some tweaks that are made here or there. Most of the stuff that you hear is how it was written. Very little tweaking is done. It is here and there, not much, but most of what you hear is first laid down. That's what it is. It's through the internet. And when we perform, we practice. We get together a few days before. We practice together as a group a few days before. We have the theatrics in another room. The band's rehearsing in another room. I'll do some vocals with the band, but I'll also work with actors and actresses. We have both pieces going, and then at the very end, we merge both together for a final, run through or two, and then we'll do like a warm up show local to where we rehearse, and then we travel.
Okay. Do you
very efficient? Do
you do like, or are you planning to do extended touring, or do you do a festival here or bigger, like a bigger planned show here and there because it is such a production?
Well, the way it's standing right now, the way it's unfolding right now, we're going to have multiple runs. Okay. It's not going to be like one tour that spans across 20 shows in within a month. It's going to be broken up. So we might do 2 or 3 weeks, 1 month, maybe a month might be off, then continue, and it will be like that, just like it was last year into this year. We did like 6 runs in Europe, and at one point it was actually in between writing and recording the record, which made it very challenging. Sure. I'm hoping we never do that again, but it had to because of the way our involvement with SPV Steamhammer occurred.
Sure.
It's just the timing thing, but I'm sure we can try to prevent that from happening if we do a third record. But nonetheless, it's just really, it can be difficult.
Sure. So. Definitely. Now, when you do a record like this, and obviously the touring that comes with it, it's 2018. I doubt you go into it thinking, well, we're going to sell 500,000 copies of this, and then we're going to, blah, blah, blah. Money-wise, financially, it's not what you look for as far as the sales part. Are there still enough financial avenues for a newer band like them to succeed and grow?
Well, most of the bands nowadays, they earn their money through merchandise and touring.
Sure.
So just recently, there's definitely the music industry that's still trying to sculpt and mold a way that the artist can actually receive more revenues from streaming services, which is great, which is key, because it's that it really hurt the music industry, but benefited all the listeners out there, to provide that technology to everyone to be able to stream music.
Sure.
But I think in time, the music industry will figure itself out. Will definitely be a little bit better balanced than how it is right now, because it's really not balanced in the favor of the songwriter/artist. But in time, I'm sure that will change. But as of now, from my knowledge, main avenues are, touring and merchandise.
Sure. Do you and you have kids, so you may be able to answer this, and you'll at least have a better perspective on it. I have always thought, not always, but since the last 10 years or so, thought that one of the biggest problems that we have with music these days is that the next generation that's coming does not have value to it. They don't value it at all. They're so used to an iTunes card and, delete the song when they're bored with it, to where they don't assign value like we did when we would buy a Dokken record or whatever, and open it and learn every credit and everything else in it. Do you think that there is a way to bring that value back? Because it just seems like that's probably one of the main reasons that the next generation isn't having any kind of bands that are getting bigger, because there's no value assigned to when they hear a new song from a band that they like.
I totally agree. That I experience that on a day-to-day basis with my children. Sure. They don't value music. They listen to a song for about 30 seconds, boom, on to the next one.
Right.
Besides that, they don't even buy gift cards, iTunes gift cards anymore. They just stream on Spotify or Pandora or whatever, on one of the streaming services. Right. They don't, or even YouTube. They don't even stream from YouTube. So it's really concerning. But I think that one of the reasons that I was really excited to get involved with our label, SPV Steamhammer, was because their insight. okay? They actually put together a package, and they've been doing this. We're not the first group that, they're releasing a record like this, but they put together something desirable, something, that if the person likes the music, they'll buy the record. And they put together a dual red marbleized vinyl set. It's on 180-gram vinyl, and they also include a CD. Okay, so you buy the vinyl, you get 2 vinyls. There's art. I mean, it's infused with art, awesome photos, all the lyrics, just like the old days, something really to grab, hold, look at, smell, listen to. Right. And you know what? You have a CD you could throw in the car, or you want to rip it, or whatever the case may be. You want to use your new traditional methods of listening to this music streamed, so be it. But you have something to look at, something to hold. I think that is very difficult with a lot of groups, especially with a band that, will wear blue jeans and a T-shirt and go on stage. Like, right. Back in the day, that was the new norm. Right. When you had bands like Metallica doing that, and it was big, it was huge, and it was, energy and something to buy, something to hold. The labels need to work in conjunction with the bands to create that package and that desire, that want to get a hold and to have it, something that they can collect, they can cherish, they can, enjoy it, as opposed to just skimming through songs, after 30 seconds of listening to one. Right. And that's what we try to do with our music, coupled with how Steamhammer is pushing it and promoting it. That is something that we're hoping, to sell some records. Sure. How well it's going to do, we don't know. We're in a different day and age, but I'm happy with how everything is going so far, because they know the label is like 5 steps ahead of us. Right. As far as what they're seeing, the overall picture that they see, and that's very important. That's a very important part of your relationship with a label like SPV, Steamhammer.
No doubt, man. Well, KK, the new album, it is called Manor of the Seven Gables. The band is called Them. And where can people go online to keep up with you and the band and pick up the record, and when can they get it and all that good stuff?
Well, first off, you can go on them666.com. We also we frequent Facebook, so facebook.com/thembandofficial. Okay. The record drops October 26th, excellent, 2018, and it's on not only on double gatefold vinyl with included CD, and that's the best value. Sure. Or if you just want the CD, you could purchase a digipack, which has all the exquisite artwork included as well, but on a smaller scale, of course. Sure. And but the best value is that double vinyl, because you do get that CD. I think that's brilliant, and I hope you all enjoy it. We had a really great time putting it together, and we're looking forward to seeing anybody that enjoys the music. We'll be performing the U.S. and Canada sometime within 2019 to 2020. We don't know yet, okay, but we will be performing. So we hope to see you, and we'll have a great time with a great show.
Excellent, man. Well, dude, as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track from the new record, maybe tell us a story about it. So what would you like to wrap this one up with?
Well, that's a tough one because there's quite a few songs. Well, how about we go with the ending track, Punishment by Fire. All right. Punishment by Fire. In the story, the protagonist named Peter Thompson, he's the villain. He's the one who's contracted by the townspeople of Sweet Hollow to bring KK Fossor to justice for his heinous crimes of murder and death and destruction that laid in his wake. KK and his assistant Remsen fled to the Manor of the Seven Gables, located in Salem, Massachusetts, to hide and to reconvene. Peter Thompson, contracted by the townspeople of Sweet Hollow, hunts KK down, finds him, and brings him to the town square, binds him to the stake, and lets him know that it was he who actually burned his wife and daughter during the Hemsmore trial for pleasure. He's here to collect his bounty and put an end to all his sorcery now and forever. And we'll leave you with that. Punishment by fire.
All right, let's check it out right now. It is them right here on your Classic Metal Show. Hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show. We have tons of friends that are musicians, and what they care about most is their gear. If you are a gearhead, then you need to be shopping at Amplified Parts. They have everything from amplifier parts to speakers to effects pedals and more, with some of the best prices out there today. Visit them online at amplifiedparts.com or give them a call at 480-296-0890 and let them fill all of your gear needs today. When your gear is important, only shop with the best, Amplified Parts.